And today I want to talk to you about the messages that your rose quartz is trying to make you aware of. Why keeping the heart chakra energetically cleansed is so important. How you can up-level the energy of your rose quartz. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving you some tough love. I'm going to help you to understand what opportunities you might be missing with your rose quartz crystal. Let's get on with it. Maybe you've got some jewelry and you tend to pick the one with the rose quartz crystal in it. Perhaps you use rose quartz regularly to meditate with. There's one thing that I want to say about that is that there's nothing wrong with choosing rose quartz all the time. In fact, it means that you are in tune with your intuition when you're choosing rose quartz, or any crystal for that matter, because it means that you're listening to what your energetic body, what your soul, what your being requires in this particular moment. And when we choose rose quartz, we consciously or unconsciously want to feel soothed. We want to feel peace. We want to feel some sense of calm. And this is what the rose quartz imparts with us, but it also imparts a subtle knowing that we have these resources within us. Rose quartz reminds us that we don't need to abandon ourselves or give away our power in the belief that acceptance needs to come from outside. Today I brought some beautiful examples of rose quartz because I've got lots. I'm a person that often chooses rose quartz to work with. And you can have it in a rough form like this. These are really beautiful. But you can also find polished rose quartz. Lots of tumblestone rose quartz. There's also a very clear rose quartz that you can get, often used more for jewelry. But these are beautiful pieces, and if you just breathe into this crystal now with me together, allowing me to share this energy with you, and it just generates a kind of sweetness, the color, the serenity that the color imparts, this light, almost translucent pink. And so just having rose quartz around you in your day-to-day life, whether you have it in your office or where you're working, in your spaces, is a really nice addition to bring a softness to any space. I get it. You're a person who wants to be compassionate, to be generous, to be open-hearted around people. And these are all things that we associate with the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is perhaps the most important chakra we have in our energy system. And that's because the heart chakra is in the center of the energy system. And so if we have a cleansed, balanced heart chakra, then it can actually help to pull out the blocks from the other chakras so that they can be released through the heart chakra. So that's why it's so important to keep this energetic center cleansed, clear, regulated as much as you can. In Anodea Judith's work, she discusses how the healthy development of the heart chakra is greatly dependent on what we learn as we're growing up, the environment that we're in, and how we process our experiences. And we know that a lot of our heart wounds have come from the past, from the experiences we've had in family, past relationships, events that often we didn't have any control over. And because sometimes the pain is so hard to bear, instead of experiencing those feelings, then we repress them. We push them back down into the heart area. But these wounds stay in the heart until we're ready and willing to let them out, to release them. And rose quartz is the universe's gift to help us to release those forgotten experiences, to help us to learn to love ourselves again, despite anything that's happened or anything that we've done. And this is a really great opportunity to mention the free meditation that I've created, which goes along with this video, really. This video came as inspiration from that meditation. It's called the Total Calm Rose Quartz Cleanse. It's completely free, and you can get that at the end of this video. And this is really about helping you to, when those things come up, release them in a very calm, held, safe space, which is the rose quartz cavern, which is where I take you to on this journey in the meditation. So I want to tell you a story about a client that I was working with once. And she came to me and appeared to be a person who was very open-hearted, somebody who everybody loved to be around, who always went to for support, that everybody else considered compassionate, loving, generous. And when she came to me for a reading, she was just completely depleted. And she felt resentful of the people around her, that she wasn't getting back everything that she was giving to people. And this can often happen when we are open-hearted empaths, like I'm sure you are as well. And so we started to look at her chart. I was especially looking at the planet Neptune and where she was maybe leaking energy or giving away too much. And we started to use rose quartz. I gave her a very short daily practice to work with for a few days. And she started to realize that the compassion and the giving energy that she was really conveying to people was actually coming from her mind. And it was a defense mechanism. It was actually a form of protection, almost planning out how she could get validation, how she could be accepted by the people around her. And this was very painful to see. But as she continued to work with the rose quartz crystal, she started to learn the difference between the voice that comes from the heart and the voice that comes from the analytical mind. And we know that our mind is trying to keep us safe. It's doing what minds do. It's trying to plan and analyze and work out the best path. But the heart has a different kind of wisdom. The voice is very subtle. We've talked about this before in other videos, that it's a calm voice. It's a quiet voice. It's not loud like the mind is. And so we have to train ourselves to hear that voice, to recognize the messages that it's trying to convey us. But this happens over time. It's like a muscle. It really does expand and grow and get stronger, the heart center, the heart chakra, as you work with it. And even something very simple, say hello to your heart and ask your heart to bring you a message during your sleep. Something as simple as a request before you go to bed, recognizing your heart, can really bring some powerful insights when you wake up. Don't forget to write them down, because I usually forget everything within the first 10 minutes. Okay, so I said you were going to get some tough love. And this is because using rose quartz a lot on repeat can mean that we're bypassing some of those more difficult emotions and feelings, because we prefer to lean into, we prefer to feel the gentleness, the calmness, the love that the rose quartz can give us as support. So if you notice that you're focusing only on these higher vibrational emotions, but there's something niggling, something that wants to come up that you're not really willing to face, that there's some fear around, this is your rose quartz encouraging you, telling you that actually you can face this, you can do this, and that now is the time. And this is when it's great if you've got somebody who can support you through this. But even just being open, asking your guides to help you, asking your higher self to bring you the strength, bring you the wisdom, to help you see if you're avoiding something, to help you let go with ease. Because the reality is the mind doesn't want to feel these difficult emotions, these feelings, these old memories. It's here to protect us from them, but actually your body wants to release them, because when you do start to release these things that are coming up, especially with the energy that we're in at the moment, which is asking us to purge, which is asking us to let go of those stories of the past. When we do start to release, there's an alleviation, there's a freeing, there's a lightness that comes from that release. And if you're noticing this in your own life, then this rose quartz meditation that I've created for you is really for this. It's for helping support you when things are coming up, when you're not sure how to release them. So I promise to tell you how you can up-level your rose quartz crystal's energy. And the first way is having a daily ritual with your rose quartz. It could be 5 minutes a day, it could be 10 minutes a day. You're going to sit with your rose quartz, either sitting in a chair or sitting on the floor, and just breathing in and out to the crystal. I did a really nice crystal connection video a little while ago. I'll try and link that. You're just going to really connect with your rose quartz crystal, really sit in a quiet space without distractions for 5 minutes. And maybe the first couple of days you might not notice anything, because the energy of rose quartz can be quite subtle at first if you're not used to it. But when you get to day 4, you're going to start to hear, sense, notice information coming through you from the crystal. And you're starting to build a connection with that crystal. You're building up a relationship, which means that in times of distress, in times of difficulty, or just when you feel like you need some extra support, that crystal will already be in tune with your vibration, with your heart energy, and will know what you need in a particular moment. Another really great thing you can do while you're doing this short practice with your rose quartz is to write down what's coming up. And just write. The more that you work with this crystal, the more that you're going to notice that those older stories come out that need releasing when the time's right. And this is something important to know as well. You're not forcing things with rose quartz. It's a very gentle energy. So it's helping to bring things up that you're ready to release. The next way I'd like you to work with your rose quartz crystal is by adding to your meditation some clear quartz points. Now, this is going to really charge up your grid. It's called a meditation grid. So I highly recommend that after this kind of meditation, you use a smoky quartz or a tourmaline crystal just to kind of bring you back down to earth. And you're just going to hold that in your hand after the meditation. What you're going to do with this one is you're going to use your quartz crystal. You can either place it in front of you. If you're lying down, you could place it on your heart chakra. And you're going to use 4 quartz points. Now, the quartz points can be like this. This is the most common kind of quartz points. They're quite cheap as well, these little ones. But you could also use something that's a bit bigger, like this one. Anything that has this pointed angle. These are actually Herkimer diamonds, but these are also great for adding to a crystal grid because they've got a really sharp, sparkly energy. And so these are just going to add some power, because when you have a point on a quartz crystal, then it just really focuses like a laser beam the energy. And so you're going to place these quartz crystals around you, pointing inwards at the 4 angles. And you're going to sit in this grid for around 15 to 20 minutes. If you prefer to lie down for this one for 15 to 20 minutes, then this is a good one to lie down in. And you're going to really feel this surge of energy coming into the heart area, because these crystals really power up the rose quartz crystal. And like I said, it's important to ground after you've done this practice. And you might notice your heart chakra area suddenly opening. If anything feels too much, remove some of the quartzes, take it down to just 2. It's always best to have an even number of quartz crystals to balance the energy around you wherever you're placing those crystals. And you could use more. You could use 6 or 8 if you have those available. Finally, if you find that you are avoiding something, that there's something that wants to come up that you really have just been pushing to one side and avoiding facing, then using a complementary color like green is really going to help to bring in that grounded heart energy. So I've got this aventurine, really nice grounding green color, and also this is also a green quartz. You can just sense the difference in that color. It's just much more grounding, isn't it? But green is also associated with the heart chakra, but it's more of a grounded heart energy. And so you can either work with these together with your rose quartz. You could carry a rose quartz and a green crystal with you to kind of balance that heart energy, so you feel more able and more willing to release anything that wants to come up. Or you can just work with the green crystal. Again, placing it on the heart, carrying it with you. If you have a crystal cage, you can wear it as a necklace, as I often wear mine. And this is a really nice way to work with that more grounded energy of the heart chakra with a less emotional perspective, which is what the rose quartz tends to lean on. Much of my work focuses on using the astrological chart as a map to give you the vocabulary to help you work through those experiences, those blocks. But I combine the energy of crystals because the rose quartz is so gentle, but it's so powerful as well. I invite you to download the rose quartz meditation if this has resonated with you today. Thank you so much for watching and for being here with me today.